Out with Romaniac Rod again. He's not even 50 yet. I'm wondering if I should stop hanging around with all these young puppies. I'm always aching all over after these rides. But seriously, always awesome riding with someone who's into trials riding as well. Instead of breakneck speed, we get our thrills from taking the tougher lines on a track, try not to put a foot down, avoid wheel spin. There was rain the previous day. It left all of these hard clay sections very slippery. We were loving it.
Whoa! Slippery as. It's super slippery.
One of the things that really makes us cringe is when someone gets stuck on a hill or in a rut and they think more throttle is the answer. They start digging their way to China and roosting everyone behind them with rocks and dirt. Of course, they'll be doing all of this with the noisiest exhaust pipe they can buy to get that extra 2 horsepower they'll never use. And they'll make sure they rev extra hard if there are houses within earshot. Of course, their rear tyre is worn out after 4 rides, so they can go on a forum and bag the shit out of it, but also secretly feel like a top rider because they wore out a tyre so fast. Sometimes more throttle is the answer to a problem, but burying your rear wheel to the axle on a hill climb or in a rut while revving the tits off your bike isn't one of them. All you are doing is stuffing up the tracks for everyone else.
What I call bad driving.
That's probably a bit hypocritical in that we are mostly riding through eroded areas here, but when that rear wheel spins we know we've either buggered our technique or we've hit a tricky spot that will need various tricks to get out of, and doing it without sitting on the rev limiter and shredding our rear tyres. We are learning this stuff at the moment, how to get going again when stuck. Sometimes it's the quick jab on the foot pegs to weight the bike and release the clutch quickly. Other times it's the bounce hard on the seat with clutch release, but immediately de-weight so the bike jumps up the obstacle. Sometimes it's standing on the bike because the foot pegs are stuck.
And if I need to, weight the bike with the knee.
Other times, wheeling through a deep rut to avoid the pegs getting caught. Once we've got the hang of all of this, we'll do a video about it.
Bugger. Slippery timber.
Watching the top extreme enduro riders in tough, slippery, steep terrain is a real treat. Virtually no wheel spin at all. They are masters of traction. They make it look easy, but it's bloody hard to learn. So anyway, we are greeny tree huggers to some extent. Latte sipping, sensitive new age guy hippies who actually want to minimise damage to our riding areas, even if we are riding in already eroded areas.
So you tried to use that as a kicker?
Yeah, I tried to use it.
Slam in. Woohoo!
You develop an appreciation for better riding skills when on private properties. The owners are only too aware that their favourite steep hill climb can quickly erode into an unusable nightmare once a few dickheads start digging trenches in it with bad technique. So you either learn good traction control or don't get invited back.
Nicely done.
When it gets technical, Rod usually speeds ahead. He dabs with his foot more, but he's still standing and maintaining momentum, which is perfect for enduro riding, whereas I'm more trials focused, trying not to dab, but riding slower than a wet week as a result.
I get it again. Sometimes you help pick someone up. If you do this, it's leverage. It only needs half the strength as pulling a fork leg. Tricky, it's got the steep drop off, and this is very off camber and slippery tree roots. That's the best run I've ever seen.
No doubt it's the ATVs and four-wheel drives that are chewing up our public riding areas far more than bikes. But even then, a skilled driver can usually negotiate tough terrain with far less wheel spin. Personally, I think if you get your thrills from wheel spin, lots of revs, crap riding technique, and wrecking trails, maybe get a computer game and get your thrills in cyberspace. You'll be doing the rest of us a favour.